My name is Christian John Anthony Bielaszewski. I was born April 13th, 1999, and the president at the time was Bill Clinton.
My name is John Bielaszewski. I was born January 16th, 1972, and the current president at the time I was born was Richard Nixon.
My name is Jan Bielaszewski, born September 1943. President was the Franklin D. Roosevelt, and I came to United States in 1965.
So a perfect day for me was two things I would think really, or maybe just one thing. It was I would always go with my grandfather on my mom's side to Ruby's Tuesday Diner. You know, always had milkshakes, and then we would go over to the bookstore, which was Borders at the time, non-existing now, and I don't know why, but it was always a fun day for me to do that.
A fun day for me when I was a child was waking up in the summertime and just hanging out with my friends and going outside playing sports, and then coming home and then playing with my toys and stuff like that.
My perfect day was when I was a child, good, have fun, and play with the toys.
So when I turned 18, which was last year, 2017, it was a very interesting time politically and just, you know, in the world. A lot of tragedies happened in the world, and, you know, a lot of political nonsense, but, you know, I guess that happens on the daily anyway. So, you know, I like to consider that a lot to be like Game of Thrones almost. You know, it's fighting for the power, but so that's always it gets difficult every year, you know, picking someone that you want to support, if you even want to support someone. And really 18 was, I think, a prime time for me to begin to truly, you know, find, you know, who I was as a person, you know, still doing that. It was the time where I kind of, you know, started to get my freedom because I didn't go to college and, you know, don't have plans of it. So I really had enough time to myself just to, you know, think on, you know, what I wanted to do. And so, yeah, that was how I viewed the world at 18.
When I was 18, it was 1989, and, you know, life just moved a lot slower than it does now. There were... you know, things were much cheaper, like gas, and just, you know, necessities in life that you need. It was just so much easier to obtain back then than it is now. In fact, technology was far less than it is today. We used to carry around pagers and then have to go to a corner onto a payphone to call the person that just paid you, where now you can make that call right from your phone. And, you know, just even the holidays. Holidays used to be commercialized. They were going to commercialize now, but back then it was more just the holiday. And now it's just, you know, things are done more expensively. It's a show. And, you know, and I worked multiple jobs when I was 18. So the political world to me was non-existent because I was constantly working. I was a disc jockey. I had a paper route. I was working in a hospital. So things were really busy for me as far as not paying attention to what was going on in the world, but my jobs, because I wanted to make money, and that's, you know, I kind of ignored what was going on around me, and I wasn't so much concerned with it.
When I was 18 years old, that was in 1961, I already worked in a post office. Then also I worked in a bakery. The state was under control, and there was a good days, bad days, and as long as you're careful what you're doing, otherwise you will be punished by people of communists and what else. But we still struggle, sort of, like if we have money, so we cannot get the food. If we got a food, then we have no money.
Well, work-wise, I work at the family company, Center City Pretzel Company. Run the counter there and sometimes feed pretzels, and catch them. And I actually just started because I still count this being a volunteer firefighter. Um, and just started that up training for that, and that's great. And the family company's been around for I believe it's like 30 plus years, maybe even more. Owned by my grandfather on my mom's side and run by my father. So that's what I did for work.
And I currently work at Center City Pretzel. I started in 1996, and I'm still currently working there. I run the operations every day, and I bake pretzels, do sales, do everything that it takes to keep a company on its feet.
I work in a machine shop, operator, big machines, and working for 40 years. Till then, started this. Till then, I lost my job.
So some world changes for me. I mean, I could really go over an entire list, but to sum it up with one being, I think a lot of people's same response, which would be peace. There's so much, terrible things that happen, and I guess throughout the years, period, the world was always different. And I mean, I would like to, see what a true paradise would be in the world, and just see how the world would be if it started anew.
Well, okay, so not to turn this into a political war here, the change I want to see in this world is to see Trump get out of office. I think it's bad for the country, and this country is in much needed help, and it needs to be protected from inside the country. We need to pull our troops from everywhere out and bring them in and protect our borders.
What I would like see in this world, peace in the world, less hate, and no racism. Also, I would like it people stop shooting each other for no reason.